Do you know the hydropower sector in Nepal? How's your feeling here?
Well, I think that you may look into that. I'm assuming yes. Okay. I think the development of hydropower will be the key to both the economic and social stability of Nepal. While the infrastructure needs work, there's some investment opportunities in all different sectors, but it will all begin with hydropower because once you create a stable surplus of electricity, it will allow for the selling of electricity to for neighboring countries, as well as create industry opportunities here in Nepal. Currently, you really can't invite industry here because you don't have stable electricity. Say we had a large plant, assembly plant, decide they want to move to Nepal. Well, with the rolling blackouts and the instability of power right now, it's just not feasible because you say you have a working staff of 3,000 or 4,000 people and electricity goes out for a day or two or three, it's a total loss there. So until you start developing hydropower and create a surplus of stable electricity, it's pretty well fruitless to try to bring anything else here. So all the growth, both economically and socially, will be built upon the development of hydropower.
Do you visit in Nepalese site which is developed in hydropower in different places?
Yes, actually, I've visited several different proposed sites and actual sites that are under construction right now. One of the things that I would say about development of hydropower, it's not just needing foreign investment from a monetary standpoint. We as in Nepal development need just a different work culture, different construction methodology, the incorporation of new tools, new materials, new technology, new innovation. There's a lot going on out in the world that's not being applied yet to Nepal, that once we do that, we will speed up the development process.
Sorry, in field, in the where the hydropower sector have you visited already, how's your feeling? Difference between your country and Nepal?
Well, again, the biggest difference is the construction technology and techniques. The things that we do right now between the construction, the average construction for a hydropower project in Nepal is 3 to 5 years. These projects would be completed in 18 months to 30 months. So basically half the time, because we invest in machinery, it's a different work culture as well. We know there's a tremendous amount of planning and scheduling that goes into our construction efforts. So we know what we're doing before we get there. What I've witnessed on some of the construction sites, there's not really a strategic plan per se. It's you show up and then you start working whatever needs to be done that day. Whereas in America construction, we know weeks and months ahead of time what we'll be doing at a certain phase of construction. Plus the utilization of modern equipment, modern technology makes it just a tremendous difference.
You're talking about the technology in hydropower sector, but the government of Nepal takes the one goals to develop the 15,000 megawatt hydropower megawatt electricity in 10 years. Is how's your feeling? How's your any information to give the government? What is this is any successful at any point here?
Well, I think that's definitely a realistic goal. It can be done. Okay, some of the things that will have to be addressed first will be, like I said, the incorporation, bringing new technology here, bringing new equipment. Okay, when I say equipment, I was on a job site and you have 1 or 2 trucks out there moving cement. There should be 10 trucks out there. In other words, when you're doing something, I saw maybe 15 or 20 people just standing around waiting. We don't do a whole lot of that in America. So it's a cultural thing that we would want to incorporate here or invite here. But the 15,000 megawatts is definitely a realistic goal. It can be done. It's again has a lot to do with the planning and the scheduling of your construction projects. I know during monsoon season, it's tough, but in America, we don't stop work because it rains. Okay, I know there's some geographical challenges in some of the remote areas where these projects are being built, but it all comes down to planning, good access roads, good construction site development. Before you ever start working, develop the site to where it allows you to work even in inclement weather. Because I've seen a lot of jobs stop for 1, 2, 3 weeks at a time because it rained a little bit. Whereas if you do good site preparation, it allows for continuous work even in inclement weather like that.
Sorry. The government of Nepal, what is our minister and as a whole, as government, they wants to bring the foreign investment in hydropower sector. It is possible.
Oh, absolutely. First off, it's much needed. Okay, there's a couple things that are hindering that or making people a little afraid, if you will, to invest in Nepal. You know, for example, right now, according to the PPA regulations with the NEA, only 100 megawatts or larger allow for US dollar payback on PPAs. What that means is, out of the 300 plus projects that are available right now for development, only 15 of them qualify for USD payout in PPAs. So that's basically 1% of the projects, meaning you have almost 275 projects that are sitting there that people aren't going to invest good US money, German francs, the yen, or whatever country they're from, and be paid back in rupees. So I would think one of the things that would need to be addressed is that if you have foreign investment money into a project, that it would be paid out in that foreign denomination. So if we invest US dollars, we're paid back in US dollars, regardless of size. As it currently stands, only 100 megawatts or larger can be paid in US dollars. I'm currently working with the WBO, the World Bank Organization, and they also have a limit of 100 megawatts or larger because of the US dollar payout. So that would be one thing that I would say that could be addressed that could possibly make an investment here more attractive. In addition to that, you know, there's a lot of things that the government has done very good here lately, okay? With the government stability, with this new 5-year government system ratified, makes for a more secure, stable environment here politically. For years, the political landscape here was very unstable. We'd have a new government every 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, something like that. And that doesn't give a lot of stability and security for foreign investment. But with the ratification of this new 5-year agreement, there's a better feel for investing in Nepal. You know, recently, Prime Minister Oli was in the United States, and he spoke at the Asia Pacific Group meeting, and he made some very good points. Matter of fact, he actually said to the New York Stock Exchange, Nepal is open for business. You know, currently, South Asia is the fastest growing economy in the world right now. Nepal can really tap into that by realization of development of hydropower. So I think the landscape and the timing is perfect for an investment in Nepal right now.
In your opinion, last question. In your opinion, the investor of foreign investor, they can invest in Nepal, for example. If that investment, it is possibly to develop the hydropower, and in your opinion, that investment, it is possible to save.
Is it safe? Absolutely.
Yes,
you know,
from security, yes.
Yes. Again, there are several factors involved in that. With the PPA payout denominations is a big thing there. India just made a huge change in their regulations for cross-border transmission. That will be huge for investment because it allows for the sale of excess electricity. Right now, one of the problems is say I have a 100 megawatt project. I build it. Well, the consumption rate is only at 80 megawatts. So that's 20 megawatts that are sitting idle. Whereas with this new cross-border transmission agreement, we could take the excess and sell it, so we're able to run at 100% capacity, because if I invest the money to build 100 megawatt and the consumption is only 80, I'm losing 20 megawatts per year, which may not sound like a lot, but when you start doing the math over a 10-year period, that's a considerable amount of money. So with the new changes in the 51% rule for cross-border transmission, Nepal is primed for investment in hydropower.
But here is the one problem. You just talk about this international cross-border line. Here is that is the problem. How can Nepal possible to solve this problem?
Well,
Is there any criteria?
there's going to have to be some infrastructural development from a transmission standpoint. You know, we've got some technology in America we're working on right now with utility power storage, energy storage. So therefore, we don't have rolling blackouts. We have a surplus of energy stored to be used at any time upon demand. That would be a big opportunity or system to incorporate here in Nepal. But I've been here long enough and done enough research that I am very confident that investment in Nepal is going to be safe and secure. And the fact that we're talking about hydropower is paramount because it will be the foundation that everything else is built off of. So one of the things I would say that we need to do here in Nepal would be to expand the transmission grid to outlying areas, because what that will do, that will increase the consumption rate. Therefore, it allows for the maximum capacity of energy production through these projects. Another thing that I've done recently, I went out to Sunkosi hydropower facility. It currently is a 10.5 megawatt project, okay? It was built 71 years ago. I spent 2 days out there. I did an audit of it. I did the hydraulics, I did the equipment. Do you understand the technology advancement that's happened in the last 70 years? So if we were to replace those components with more modern, more efficient components, we may be able to increase that by 25, 30, 40%. So instead of being a 10.5 megawatt facility, it could possibly be a 15, 18 megawatt, possibly even a 20 megawatt. So one of the areas that I would look at would be any project that is in existence, operating over 20 years old, 25 years old, go through it and look at incorporating more modern technology, more modern equipment to increase its output. That could be an immediate thing. Whereas building a new project takes 5 years, where you could come in and you could refurbish, remodel, revamp, upgrade the systems in 6, 8, 9 months, maybe a year. And you could do it in stages to where the thing is still operating, but we incorporate new technology, new equipment, more modern technology, and it's bound to increase minimum 30, 40%. Okay?
So, can I ask one thing?
Absolutely.
For example, if the Nepal develop more hydropower, yes, from the USA or different countries' investment, yes, but in Nepal lots of hydroelectricity, but if there is any new technology to use without international cross-border line, without, how can we use electricity in USA?
How could you use? Well, how could you?
Yeah,
again,
just we can use Wi-Fi system. Yeah.
right?
There is any new technology there?
Oh my lords, yes. My gosh,
But in
yes.
Nepal there is lots of hydropower, lots of electricity. But in Pakistan there is no hydroelectricity.
Right.
But without cross-border line, how can the people of Pakistan they can use Nepalese produce?
Well, actually, India has just agreed to allow for the cross-border transmission of that about 30 kilometer stretch there, to allow for direct sale of electricity from Nepal to Pakistan directly. Okay, and again, with the 51% rule that I mentioned a while ago being done away with, that really does a lot of good for Nepal, because now, but first off, let's back up a little bit. Before we start talking about selling electricity to your neighboring countries, expand your transmission grids here in Nepal. Utilize the electricity here to bring industry here. Okay? Once industry come here, it will have not just an economic effect, it will also have a social effect on things. Whereas fathers won't be leaving the country to go to work in Dubai and Qatar and Vietnam and Korea and Australia. They'll be able to stay here, which will make for a better family unit. So hydropower development will not just be an economical boost for Nepal, it will also be a social boost. Because then once you start having the ample, stable supply, you've got electric cars, You've got electric mass transit, buses, railways. There are so many things that we could incorporate here once the power is developed. So my thinking is, while the ability to sell it overseas is great, or to your neighboring countries is great, find ways to utilize that electricity here and grow Nepal first, okay? Once Nepal's economy is strong and becomes a power player in the power sector of this region, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit. I mean, you've got the latest estimates are between 80 and 100,000 unrealized megawatts of potential. If you could get to 15,000 to 20,000, 25,000 in the next 5 to 7, 10 years, Nepal could be one of the strongest power producing countries in this region, which translates to wealth. Okay, once the nation wealth is established, again, industry comes here. You have, I know a lot of Nepal's revenue is dependent upon remittance from foreign work and workers going over, out of the country to work. But once you establish industry here, create thousands of jobs, there's no need to go somewhere else. The economy thrives. The social settings are improved tremendously. It's just, again, the foundation will be establishing a surplus, expanding your transmission to increase the consumption here, and then start bringing industry here. I mean, you've got a tremendous resource of labor here that we're losing to other countries that are going to work elsewhere. Put them to work here. Get some refineries. Get some assembly plants. Get some industry here, and Nepal will just explode. I'm excited about it. It is exciting, and I'll finish with this. One thing I would say from a foreign investment standpoint, very few times in life are you afforded an opportunity or a chance to make the kind of return on investment while helping a country develop. You will actually impact the entire nation and the country and the lives of all the people here through your investment in Nepal. So it's a win-win thing.